Welcome to another Excel analysis. Today we want to treat customer satisfaction or let's say airline passenger satisfaction. So this data set is from Cargo. There's a Marine airline data set, and the airline is based in the USA, and the manager of the company would like to understand why for the past 6 months the airline has not been making their usual amount of profit. So they want to check the passenger satisfaction in order for us to know why the airline is not generating the amount of revenue they've been generating before. So let's just go ahead and import the data to Power Query where we can do our EDA and also transformation. So click on data, click on get data from file. So it's a CSV data, a comma separated value. So we are not going to go to take from workbook. We are going to get from text slash CSV. Just wait while it comes up. Okay, so it's on my desktop and there's it. Airline passenger satisfaction. So I'll click on it and I'm going to say import. So it's taking us directly to the Power Query editor. So we have it here. We have load. I'm not going to load or load to. I want to take it to the Power Query editor. So I'm going to click on transform data. Lucky enough, this data comes with a another page for a dictionary where you can know what is what in the data set. So you can always check on it. So firstly, what I like to do, I like to count my number of rows. Click on transform, click on count rows, and we have a total of 129 rows, 880. So let's go back to home. Next, I like to check my column quality, sorry. So sorry, let's undo this so we can do that. So click on, so as we can see, all our columns are 100% valid. So we are good to go. So let's go straight and start our analysis. Now, in the dictionary, they told us that ID here is a unique ID. Each passenger has a unique ID. It suffices to say that this is our primary key. And we know that a primary key cannot have duplicate. So let's right click and say remove what? Duplicate. Next, we all know that our primary key cannot be in the whole number. It has to be in a text data type. So right click on 123 and click on test. Okay, so let's go on to the next. We have our gender and let's see what gender we have. Okay, we just have, let's see if we have orders. So we have female and male. So let's just trim, right click, go down to transform and say trim. Next, we have our age. So we have from 7 to, let's confirm, from 7 to 85 years. So for this age, we're going to do a conditional column for the age range. We're going to have school age, teenagers, young adults, adults, and elderly. Okay, so let's go on to the next. We have our customer type. Let's see how many customer type we have. We have first time and we have returning. So first time are passengers that are just using the airline for the first time. And returning are those that have used the airline and are still coming again to still patronize the airline. So let's just right click on it, transform, and go down to trim. Next, we have type of travel. So we have personal and we have business. Okay, so right click, transform, and trim. Next, we have class. I think class mean what type of tickets the passenger purchase. Is it business? Is it economy? Or is it economic plus? So right click, transform, and go down to trim. So next we have flight distance. Okay, so we have from 6 to 7, or we have a lot more. So we can use this analysis like this. So we are going to do a distance range. It's going to be short distance, let's say medium distance, and long haul. Okay, next we have departure delay, which is, I think this should be in minutes. So we are going to just, we're going to use this for our KPI. Departures delay, arrival delay, we're going to leave them in their numeric values. All these are going to be left in their numeric values. Next, we have satisfaction. And we have neutral or satisfied, and we have satisfied. So is either a customer is neutral or dissatisfied, or the customer is actually satisfied. So right click, transform, and go down to trim. Okay, so let's form our conditional column, and we said we want to do that for age and distance. So let's start with age. Click on add column, click on conditional column, and we are going to rename the column name as age range. Age range. So we want to say if age is less than or equal to, so let's say 14. So anything equals to 14 or less than 14, we'll say school age. So let's add another clause to that, and we click on age. We want to say if age is less than or equal to, okay, let's say 19, then what's the output? That person is a teenager. Let's add another clause, or again, sorry. We want to say if age is less than or equal to, let's say 30, the output young adults. So young adults. Let's add another clause. If age is less than or equal to, this should be 41. Then what is the output? The person is an what? An adult. Else elderly. So if the person does not fall into the age bracket, into age, I'm sorry, school age, teenager, young adult, or adult, then the person is what? Elderly. Okay, so we're good to go. We have this. So let's see what we have here. So we have adults, we have elderly, we have school age, we have teenager, and we have young adults. We are good to go. Now, the data type is undefined, so we are going to change it to text. And we have this. Next, let's do a conditional column for distance. So just click on conditional column, and we're going to rename this to be distance range. Distance range. I will want to say if flight distance is less than or equal to, it should be 500. So 500 mile. Then what's the output? It's short distance. Okay, we're going to add another clause and say if flight distance is less than or equal to 2005, the output medium distance. Else, if it doesn't fall into short distance or medium distance, then what should happen? It's long haul. Click on OK. So let's see what we have here. So we have long haul, we have medium distance, and we have short distance. So we are good to go. The data type is undefined, so we're going to change it to what? Text. And that's all for our transformation. Let's load into Excel and start modeling our data. Click on Home, click on Close and Load. It's loading, so let's just be patient. Okay, here we are. So let's start our analysis. So let's rename this to data. I love adding colors. So tab color, let's use the sharp red. We have sheet one here, but it's empty, so we don't need it. So just delete. Now, we want to check this analysis by what? The first will be satisfaction by customer type. We're also going to do satisfaction by travel type. We're also going to check the passenger's profile by age and class. We are going to check satisfaction by flight distance, and we're also going to check the overall passenger's satisfaction. So let's get into it immediately. So click on a cell or a data point, go to Insights, Pivot Table. Don't forget to check add these to the data model. It's very, very important. It's taking time. So, okay. So, we want to check. Let's just rename this as customer type. So, tab color, let's change this. Okay, so we're going to take customer type to rows. Next, we're going to take our ID to values. So this is what we have here. So let's format. Right click, click on number format, click on number, check the use 1000 separator and change the decimal to 0 and OK. So let's sort. So we want to sort from highest to largest to smallest, please. So returning customers 106,100, and the first time customers at 23,780. So let's still drag satisfaction to column. So this is what we have here. Now we can see that returning customers, we have 50,728 that are satisfied, and we have 55,372 that are either dissatisfied or are neutral. While for the first time customers, we have just 5,700 that are satisfied, and we have 18,080 that are dissatisfied. So the company needs to really look into this. So next, let's get a chart. So let's use a chart to really explain this. Click on pivot chart. I want to use a cluster bar chart. Okay, let's use this. So okay, so let's clean our chart. Come to your axis, uncheck the primary vertical. We need our data labels. We don't need the grid lines. Okay, I think it's looking good like this. So next, right click on this and click on hide all fields button in chart. Click on this, right click and say no outline. So we have a clean looking chart. So let's get to the next. Let's check satisfaction by travel type. Insert, pivot table, check add this to data model and OK. So for this travel type, we are going to take travel type to rows, satisfaction to column, and the count of IDs to value. So yeah, travel type to rows, and we take satisfaction to columns. Okay, so right click number format. It's a number. We don't need the decimal. And check the 1000 separators. Okay. So most people traveling for business, 52,356 are satisfied. Why 37,337 are either satisfied or neutral. Why personal people traveling for personal reasons, just 4,072 are satisfied, and 36,150 are not satisfied. So let's begin a chart. Right click, and for this, let's use a clustered column chart. Okay, let's use this here. Okay, so next we are going to clean our charts. Axis, uncheck primary vertical, uncheck the grid lines. Right click over here and hide all fields button. So we're naming this as travel type. Right click and let's change the color. On to the next, click on insert, pivot table, add this to data model and OK. So next we want to check satisfaction by passengers profile. We want to use the passengers profile to check this. To achieve that, we're going to take our age range to row, we're going to take class to column, and we are going to take ID to values. So class is going to column, and our age range is down. Take the age range to raw. So next, right click, number format, number 0, use 1000 separator, and OK. So next, let's start from largest to smallest, largest to smallest. So for this, we're also still going to use a close start column chart. So click on pivot chart, and we're using this. Let's clean our charts. Uncheck primary vertical. Uncheck the grid lines. Right click here, hide all fields button, and we have this. So we're naming this as passengers profile. Right click, tap color, put a color. And let's move to the next. Insert, pivot table, add this to data model, and OK. So next we want to check satisfaction by flight distance. So let's change this to flight distance. Let's give it a color. Okay. Now for us to get this, we are going to take flight distance, the range, flight distance, or the flight's distance range to row. We're going to take class to column and count of ID. So distance right here. Let's take satisfaction to this and take ID to values. Okay. Number format, number, decimal, check 1000 separators, and OK. Next, let's sort from largest to, all right. So for the medium distance, 30,168 are satisfied, while for the 2092 are not satisfied. For the short distance, 26,759 are not satisfied, while 13,517 are satisfied. For the long haul, now more of them are satisfied. 12,743 are satisfied, while 4,601 are either satisfied, dissatisfied, sorry, or neutral. Now let's check the overall satisfaction of passengers. So insert, calling a pivot table. Don't forget to add this to data model, and OK. So for this, we're going to take satisfaction to row, and we're going to take ID to values. So let's format first. Number, sorry, not currency, number. We don't need the decimal. Use 1000 separators. Now we can see that the difference is worrisome, because for the satisfied customers, passengers per se, we have 73,452 out of 121,880 passengers that are dissatisfied, while we have 56,428 that are not satisfied. So let's bring in a chart. Let's use a donut chart. I just want my donut to be bigger than this. So I'll click on pie chart. I'll click back on donut chart and do this. And I have a bigger size donut. So I'm going to uncheck my chart title. I'm going to hide this. Check data labels. Double click and drag out. Double click and drag out. So we have this. And that's all for our charts. Next, we want to, okay, let's name this. This is overall satisfaction. Okay, so next now, we want to form a little KPI for onboard service. We're going to get 5 KPI also for airline service, and we're going to also get 5 KPIs. So we're going to have a total of 15 different KPIs. So let's do that. So click on data, insert, pivot table, add this to data model, and okay. So we're going to rename this sheet as online onboard service, sorry. So for this, the first KPI we want to look for, we want to know the average of seat comfort. So we're going to put seat comfort here. There isn't some, but we want average. So right click on this value fit setting and choose average and okay. So let's format this as a number. We want to change this to just one decimal place and okay. So next we want to get average of legroom service. So drag this here, number 1. Okay. So next we want to check the average of in-flight entertainment. Entertainment we get on board. Average also. You can average. Okay. Right click. Number format. It's a number. Change this to 1. Okay. So next, let's say the in-flight, sorry, Wi-Fi service. Number format. Number 1 decimal. And okay. The last but not the least, we want to get just the in-flight service. Right click, value fit setting, average. Okay. Right click, number format, number, change this to 1. Okay. So we have our 5 KPI, 5 KPI. So let's check our airline service. So click on data, insert, pivot table, add this to data model. So Let's rename this as, sorry, let's delete this. I mistakenly pressed the sheet. So this is airline service. So right click, just change this. I don't think we've used this color. Okay. So first we want to check is gate location. Change sum to average. Let's click number format. It's a number. Change 2 to 1 and okay. Okay. So next, let's see how the check-in service is. Click value field setting average. Okay. Right click number format number into to 1. Okay. So next, let's check baggage handling. How the airline handle people's baggage. Trying to check their ratings here. Change to 1. Okay. So next, let's check online boarding. How easy is it for you to board online? Sorry, online boarding. Okay, check this here. Right click, value fit setting, average, and okay. Right click, number format, number, change to when. Okay. Last but not the least, let's see the ease on online booking. How what's the rating? How easy is it for people to book their tickets online? So average. Okay. Click on this. Right click. Number format. Number. Okay. Okay. Next, we want to bring in our KPI. Yes, we have a lot of KPI to do. So pivot table, add this to data model, and okay. First, we want to check the count of customers. How many customers? So we have 129,880. So we need to put a comma separator. We don't need this zero. We're going to use our 1,000. Okay. So next, we want to look for the average age. We want to know the average age of our customers. So some value fit setting average. Okay. Number formats. Number. We don't need this. And okay. Next, let's see the average departure delay. So, departure delay, take it here, change sum to average. Okay, right click. So, number formats. So we can see that the average delay, departure delay is 15 minutes. Then next we want to see the average arrival delay. It's also 15 minutes. Then last but not the least, let's check the average flight distance. So let's take flight distance here. Click on this value fit setting, average. Okay. And we see that the average mile for flight distance is 1,190 miles. A change, but we're naming this to KPI. And we all know that we need to extract all this we've created. Otherwise, it might not go with us to our dashboard. So let's extract. So equals to A4, enter, equals to B4, equals to C4, equals to D4, equals to E4. Okay, let's do this also. Equals to A4, equals to B4, equals to C4, equals to D4, equals to E4. Yes, I know it's tiring, but it's best. I prefer to do it one after another. A4 equals to B4 equals to C4 equals to D4 equals to E4.